seen this just a few minutes ago and you somehow get a duplicate, my apologies.
We're late. We're late because I didn't hit the button because, nobody told me I had to hit the button and I don't know what I'm doing. Welcome back, Waves and Wandering. That's who we are.
Okay, so tonight's episode is about...
Jim causing me anxiety.
Like I did just now. Does it say we're live?
No, hun. It still says waiting to go live. But it says stop streaming. Okay. I don't know if we're live or not.
Okay. Well, if nothing else, we're recording. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, look.
No,
we're live.
Oh, look. Now we're live.
We're live. Hey, everybody.
Thank goodness. Did you have the ability to know if we were live the entire time?
Well, yeah, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Okay.
So
this whole episode is how Jim causes Anna anxiety.
It's Anna's birthday. Happy birthday, Anna.
Thank you.
Anybody wants to throw happy birthday in chat, Anna would love to see it. So as part of Anna's birthday, Jim, because he's awesome, got her flowers and a card and a cruise. Last minute cruise at guess what level stateroom? We don't know. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Take it away, Anna.
Oh, okay. So whether you're a first-time cruiser or a seasoned pro, you have an opportunity to save money on your next cruise by booking a guaranteed stateroom. Now, what is a guaranteed stateroom? A guaranteed stateroom, first of all, is the most stress-inducing thing to me about cruising. I would never book a guaranteed stateroom. I will tell you why later. But first, let me tell you what a guaranteed stateroom is.
So a guaranteed stateroom is not a TBD.
Or Jim will tell you.
It's not a TBD. It's no big deal. Just roll with it. It's not a TBD stateroom.
What is a TBD stateroom?
A TBD stateroom is what we did when we cruised and walked up to a pier in Fort Lauderdale before 9/11. And we showed up and I just gave somebody money and said, come on, Anna, we're going on board. Okay? That's a TBD. This is a guarantee. You're getting a room. I mean, unless something happens.
No, you're not guaranteed to get a room. That's the whole problem with this. So here's what a guaranteed stateroom is. You give your money to the cruise line and they will determine which stateroom you stay in.
Is this a pinky square stateroom?
Now, if you book a guaranteed interior, you are guaranteed a minimum of an interior stateroom. You're guaranteed a minimum of an interior stateroom. You can guarantee with some sailings and some cruise lines, you can do an inside guarantee, an ocean view guarantee, a balcony guarantee.
You can have even guarantee on deluxe rooms. Suites.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. You do not know where your stateroom will be, except you are guaranteed a stateroom at that minimum level that you accept. Now, the thing with a guaranteed stateroom is you don't know where on the ship you'll be, and there's very little opportunity if you don't like the location of your stateroom for you to move to a different stateroom. Once you've agreed to take the stateroom they give you, you're kind of stuck with it. But you can save quite a bit of money by booking a guaranteed stateroom. You might save a couple $100 over what you would have paid had you chosen your stateroom. Here's where this gets iffy. This cruise that he booked for my birthday leaves this weekend. As of this morning, we didn't have a stateroom. There was no stateroom assignment. When you looked on the website, when you looked in the app, it still said guarantee.
Now, earlier this evening, I'd like to tell you, we won the lottery. We got a balcony stateroom.
No, we didn't.
It says balcony in the name.
Have you ever seen Titanic? You know the Irish people in steerage that all drowned? That's the stateroom we got, except it has a movie playing of what the outside would look like if you were in a nicer stateroom. We're in an inside with a virtual balcony, but here's the thing.
Which we've never cruised in, so that makes this fun and exciting, right?
It'll be different. It will be something that we're going to experience. I don't generally do well in an inside stateroom. I like to know what time of day it is. I like to have light coming in. I don't necessarily need a balcony, although this is Alaska. I would highly recommend a balcony because you don't know what you're going to see. You might want a balcony, but...
Although this is Alaska and having inside stateroom helps you sleep more.
Anyway, I have done videos before about the problem with an inside stateroom, and my biggest concern as an anxious person with an inside stateroom, or with a guarantee stateroom, is that the cruise line can overbook the ship, the same as an airplane. Now, generally a cruise line doesn't overbook to the same capacity that an airline will do, but they do kind of expect at least a couple people won't make it to port on embarkation day for whatever reason. Airline delays their travel and they don't get there on time. Somebody gets sick at the last minute and they can't come on time. Something happens, whatever, somebody misses their cruise. But if you want to make sure you have a stateroom on board a ship and you won't get bumped because of overbooking, your best bet is to book your stateroom. Choose a stateroom number. Know that that stateroom is yours unless something really significant happens. But if you're booked in a guarantee and they don't have an available stateroom number to put you in, you could get bumped. You could fly all the way out to Seattle for an Alaska cruise and have them tell you, we don't have a stateroom for you. You might as well fly back to Jersey. That's my concern always with a guaranteed stateroom.
But that's where travel insurance comes in.
I mean, travel insurance or not, you're psyched up for this trip. You want to go on this vacation. This is just one level of anxiety you may not want on your vacation. Now, if you go and you look at a cruise ship and there's a ton of stateroom availability, you're probably fine to book a guaranteed stateroom. On this cruise he booked at the last minute, there's no availability.
I got a deal.
Zero. He got a deal because we're sleeping under the deck chairs, assuming somebody hasn't already taken them and put their towels on them so they can have them for the week. It's very anxiety inducing. So here's how you deal with a guaranteed stateroom if you're an anxious person. First of all, don't book one unless there looks like there's a lot of availability on your sailing. Go to the website, call your travel agent. Your travel agent can generally see how many staterooms are left on a cruise ship. So give me a call. I will look it up for you and I will tell you, looks like there's a lot of room. Looks like the ship is selling out. I'll let you know if I feel nervous. And if I feel nervous, you might want to feel nervous too. The other thing you can do is understand before you go that a guarantee stateroom is not necessarily a guarantee. Now, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, there will be a stateroom for you. Most cruise lines will reserve staterooms based on the number of guarantees that they have sold.
Now, if a hotel overbooks you based upon your loyalty status and whatever, they'll walk you. The cruise ship can't walk you?
Where are you going to walk? You're going to walk off a plank like you're a pirate. Walking for a hotel basically means they're going to take you from the hotel that you booked and escort you or give you directions so that you can take yourself to another one of their properties in the area. That's not an option with a cruise ship. I say that, but there's a possibility that if you are, especially on a Bahamas cruise or something like that, where there are multiple of the same Royal Caribbean ships in the same area, they might be able to say, we don't have a Utopia stateroom, but we have an Allure stateroom. Will you take that? And
at least you get the sail.
If they don't have a stateroom for you, they will give you a future cruise credit. They will give you your money back. In a lot of situations, they will give you money towards transportation. But you're ready to go on a cruise. You don't want any of that stuff, and it's super disappointing. So if you're an anxious person, my overall advice is don't book a guaranteed stateroom. Do your research, have your travel agent do their research, find a stateroom that you're going to be comfortable with, and just book a certain stateroom.
We should have made this video before I booked the stateroom. That's what you're telling me.
Oh, we should have. For me, it's not worth the anxiety. It's not worth the couple $100 that I'm saving to be 3 days before my cruise refreshing the app every 5 minutes, which I've done now for the last 2 days. You don't want to do that. It's not worth the savings for me. No, for him, who doesn't care, who doesn't know what anxiety is.
I think it's part of the fun.
It's part of the fun.
Yes,
and maybe it's part of the fun for you. And in which case, I don't even know why you're sitting here listening to me, because I'm just going off on my anxiety spiral, which I do. Catastrophic thinking.
As Anna's Johnny here to, whatever the guy's name was to Johnny. What was his name? The sidekick on Johnny Carson?
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, yeah. As Ed to her Johnny. Thank you to the 7 people who are currently on the stream. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to toss them in chat. Back to you, Anna.
All right. So now that we're done talking about anxiety and how you avoid anxiety, and really just don't let Jim book your cruise for you. It's Anna@wavesandwandering.com. You want to book a cruise, that's the information you need, not Jim at anything. You're just going to go to Anna. I want to talk just briefly about a little bit of cruise news that hit the airwaves this week and kind of blew up. Like, it was even on regular mainstream news, not just in cruise news. There was a couple of social media influencers who took their 2 toddlers on a cruise ship. It was a family trip, and did a video that sort of maybe kind of alluded to the fact that the babies were in the stateroom alone while they went to dinner. Now, in this video, which they have since deleted, they basically said they were 3 minutes away, and they set up some kind of a cell phone deal where they were FaceTiming inside their stateroom, so they knew what was going on with the babies. They ultimately retracted the story, or modified the story to say, oh no, they weren't alone at all. We're here with grandparents and aunts and uncles, and everybody we ever met is on this cruise ship with us, and we would never leave our children alone. But the first video really kind of made it seem like they were leaving their kids alone. So let's talk about this. Is this something that you would do? Now, your kids are in the room is locked. These babies were like 1 and 3 years old. Madeline McCann comes into my head when I hear stories like this. Instantly.
I mean, at the time, a baby known around the world for the events that occurred with her disappearance.
I question whether they're 3 minutes away. What cruise ship were you on? I mean, you could absolutely be just a few minutes away from your stateroom, but anymore on some of these bigger cruise ships, you're in a dining room and you're a good, especially if you have to catch an elevator, you could be 15 or 20 minutes away from a kid up in a stateroom.
And that's once you actually find out that something has gone down. I mean, this is, I'm retired from the Navy. You train to get from one end of the ship to the other in an emergency. A cruise ship is not that type of environment.
No, in the Navy, you're not like running through the casino and tripping over drunk people and having to go past people in scooters or walkers or other families with little children.
And if there's an emergency,
in the way.
Everyone is going to their place in the emergency. People aren't just standing there, lollygagging around. And, you're at dinner. So how are you dressed? What shoes do you have on? How are you getting up 5 flights of stairs?
Yeah. And Marjorie, thank you for talking to me. Marjorie has a great point. It's a family vacation. Why aren't the kids in the dining room with you? Now, I have little grandkids, 3, 5, and 6, and there are certainly times where they don't want to be in the dining room, but I mean, eat with your children. It's a family vacation. If they can't make it to the late seating and that's the seating you have, take them to the buffet, order room service, do something. But I cannot personally fathom leaving children in a stateroom unattended, especially at this age.
So this hits very close to home because during this past week in one of our cruise groups, someone made a post that we removed from the group, and that concerned watching small children. You're going to go on a cruise. You're a couple. You have a couple of young children. There are services on board the ship that the cruise ship maintains. Take advantage of those services, schedule your time, work around your dinner, but understand there may be a kid that just doesn't want to go or something happens.
In this day and age, every cruise ship has a nursery. Now, it might not be easy to get time scheduled in the nursery, especially on Disney. And the nursery is, for most cruise ships, not free. You do have to pay a couple dollars for it. But as soon as you can, if you want to have a dinner or two without your children, book some time in the nursery so that you can go and enjoy a meal. And I understand it's your vacation too, mom and dad. You may not want to be with the kids 24/7, especially if you have little kids. You're already exhausted from being home. Moms and dads don't sleep and anymore.
Piled them into an airplane to take them to the ship.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to be on vacation with your little kids 24/7. But don't leave your children unattended in a stateroom. You may think that, and I would agree, the doors are too heavy for them to open. The sliding door, if you're in a balcony, is usually a little bit complicated for little kids to work. But you don't know who can get into your stateroom. You don't know who could access your children. And it would really just be a tragedy to have something so irresponsible as, I wanted to go to dinner with my husband and not have the kids. You don't want that to be the cause. Something happens to your children.
Now, I'm sure there are people out there who are defending them that are their fans of their channel. But I anybody that I've reached that we've watched that is not in that category has spoken out with a very clear disclaimer about this is just not, it's not the right thing to do. And if you meant it as a joke or if you meant it as something else, it's not a topic that you should have even addressed in that manner. It's just not, it's not safe. It's not good advice. It's not good parenting.
Yeah. So I'm going to open up the floor to you. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share with us, go ahead.
Oh, I have a topic.
At some point, I'll figure out how to read them and how to respond to them without making it a big deal. But what is your topic?
Okay, so we're going to Alaska.
We are going to
Okay,
Alaska.
we're going in September, and we're the last cruise.
Fingers crossed, we have a bed to sleep in.
We got a balcony. Okay, what is different about going to Alaska early, middle? Now we're going at the end.
So that's a really good thing. And Alaska is a very complicated place to visit. So early in the season, you may be more likely to see bears coming out of hibernation, whales coming back to Alaska to start fishing and hunting in those waters. You might see more baby animals as, newborn seals and bear cubs and stuff are coming out for the first time in the spring. All summer long, you may have better weather than you have early in the season or later in the season. Now, Alaska weather is unpredictable. We've been several times. It's
light, dark,
wet.
wet.
Yeah, it can be wet in Alaska. Excursions get canceled, I would say, more frequently in Alaska than they have on any other cruise vacation that we've taken.
Yeah, especially those helicopter rides out to the glacier.
Yeah, fog, rain, wind. There's just some stuff that's incompatible with some of the excursions. But I think Alaska overall is one of those places that you can visit multiple times, multiple seasons, and just enjoy the differences. Animals now at the end of the season are getting ready to go back into hibernation. The whales are starting to migrate to different waters because the season is over there. The water's going to start to get colder and icier. But there's always something going on in Alaska. Somebody made the comment to me when I told them the other day that we were going to Alaska next week. You were just there in May. Why would you want to go back? Because I think as many times as you go to Alaska, it's never...
Well, I got the shirt, but it's a different ship now.
It's
so
never the same.
Shirt.
But the place itself is never the same. You don't know what you're going to see. You might see an eagle on a trip, and then next time you see a moose. You might see a wolf. It's different every single time you go. And, if I'm going to repeat a location, I would rather it was Alaska than the Bahamas.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there are plenty of people who, when you go to Nassau, do not get off the ship at all.
Yeah.
We're going on we're taking the grandkids in a few weeks. And one of our first things was, well, what are we going to do with them? We absolutely have to get them off the ship just to say we got them off. They got to go to the aquarium 3D experience thing. But then it becomes, where do we want to take them after that? We don't have that with Alaska. No, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And even if we've been there before, we're going again.
Yeah.
There is another thing, though, that is different about late in the season, and that is one of the places that we had on our schedule to go to eat is closed.
Yeah, you generally find that, again, Alaska is a very short season, May to September. Sometimes you'll find a ship that goes in October, but it gets harder for the businesses in Alaska to have employees towards the end of the season.
Yeah, especially the touristy spots where the ships go.
Yeah, so you'll find maybe some of the restaurants or some of the shops and stuff that you were hoping to go see are not open if you go later in the season. There's still plenty to do through the month of September, at least. October gets a little iffy, but I would definitely say it's worth going. So we have a question from somebody who wants to know about the new passport rule. Can they get a passport online? No, you cannot get a passport online.
Thank you for that answer. That was
easy. Thank you for your question. No, you can renew your passport online. So if you currently have a valid passport, you will now be able to renew online. Holy cow, where has this been all of our lives? You could have saved yourself tons of time by just doing this online.
Hold on. I'm retired from the Navy and you're my Navy wife. We just renewed your military government ID online the other day.
Yeah.
And you said to me, just this week, as you pulled it out of your wallet, where did I get this? It's just like We didn't go back to the base and get your picture taken. And
I just had a birthday. I'm very old. I forget things.
I just but the whole experience of it being renewed online was just kind of an odd.
Yeah. But now, if you have a passport that's expiring, you can renew it online. So that'll save yourself some time. I also, since we're talking about expiring passports, make sure you check dates on your passport. If you're going to rely on your passport as the documentation for an upcoming cruise, make sure you have at least 6 months remaining on your passport, because some countries will not let you off of the ship if your passport expires within 6 months. There's always a risk that someone will fall in love with your tropical destination or your European hideaway and decide they're going to stay. You will not be allowed off the ship if you don't have at least 6 months left on your passport. So pull your passport out as soon as you book a vacation, make sure that it's still valid, and now you can go online and renew.
So this one came in on the Facebook group, Anna. What's the deal with your TSA thing? Was it worth it?
I bugged for this TSA PreCheck thing. We generally don't fly that much. We usually drive. If we're going even on a cruise or whatever out of Florida, we have always driven.
I have over 1 million miles flown. How can you say we don't fly a lot?
Because you used to drive or travel for work. But I mean, we always had 3 kids, so it was just less expensive for us to drive down to Florida than to buy airfare for everybody.
Can I tell the Saturday cruise story?
Oh, yeah.
We're in the car driving down the highway. We don't even make it past the home state of the current president of the United States.
We live in New Jersey. For those of you that don't know, we live in New Jersey, and we barely made it to Delaware before antsiness in the back seat and nonsense and carrying on.
And I turned to her and said, let's get a guaranteed broom on a cruise, on an airline. Yeah. And it just worked out.
No, he was like, we're turning the car around. Just see right now if you can get last minute airfare. And we were very, very lucky. We got really good last minute airfare prices.
Not only was it very good, but when we came back to the airport, the news crew that had interviewed her as a Disney person put her on as a travel person. And what did they want to talk about? How horrible it was to travel over the weekend. And we were like,
yeah. I had to blow his whole story. I was like, I mean, we had no travel at all. We booked it the day before. But anyway,
How was your
TSA PreCheck. Okay. I have bugged for this because now that it's just the 2 of us and we're traveling more with just the 2 of us, we tend to fly more. And pretty much everybody I know has TSA PreCheck. And I needed this. I had to have it. It's going to save us a ton of time. So my first opportunity to use it came last week. I go to Philadelphia International Airport. I have my TSA PreCheck information. It's on my boarding pass. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I go up to the TSA agent because there's not one sign for TSA PreCheck. She yells over her shoulder at the person standing at the what do you call it? The little belt that you put your suitcase or, you carry-on bags. She yells, oh, this one has TSA PreCheck. They weren't paying attention. So I still had to take my liquids out, had to take my shoes off, had to do everything that I would have done. But fortunately, because it was 5 o'clock in the morning, there was nobody there. Then I get to Orlando on my way back home. I didn't even tell you this one.
Oh, no,
yet.
I haven't heard this one yet.
I get to Orlando and I'm super excited now because now at the Orlando airport, where the lines for TSA are 2 miles long, I'm going to get to use my TSA PreCheck. So I go over, there's an information booth right there at the entrance to the regular TSA security line. And I say to the guy, I have TSA PreCheck. Which line should I get in? And he said, get in this line. But it's the regular line. So I look at him and I said, I have TSA PreCheck. And he said, get in the line. So I got in the line, except it wasn't the TSA PreCheck line. And I go 3 or 4 rotations of the line of the queue. And I see off in the distance a big banner that says TSA PreCheck. But now I'm one of 7 million people standing in the middle of this queue. And it's much faster for me now to get to the TSA agent where I am than to leave the line, go all the way to the other end of the security thing, and get into the other TSA PreCheck line.
Do you see why she didn't tell me this story?
So there I was, taking my shoes off, taking my liquids out, and not getting any benefit out of the TSA PreCheck.
So here's why I got TSA PreCheck, because we signed up for it. And then I was like, look, why do we need this? It's not that bad at the airport. We always go early. We take first flights. I mean, we've lived and breathed taking first flights on Monday mornings at 5:30 in the morning. So it's not a big deal. But apparently, once you sign up, the TSA just doesn't let you go. They kept emailing me. Hey.
He was annoyed.
Hey.
He was annoyed because we signed up and then decided, we probably really don't need it. So we canceled the appointment. But they kept texting and emailing. Go ahead, sign up for your appointment. You finish this. You stick with it. You keep going.
We miss you. Come on down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So how hard was the process to do the TSA PreCheck?
Oh my gosh, it was super easy. We made an appointment literally within a couple of days, went and got our fingerprints done, and the next day or maybe 2 days, we had our TSA PreCheck number.
Yeah, between professional licenses, law school, everywhere else, it's a place we've been to before, so it was no big deal.
Yeah, we knew right where the fingerprint place was. It was no big deal to walk in. We were the only ones in there for the TSA PreCheck.
Yeah.
And we literally breezed right through it. And in a matter of, I want to say the next day or maybe 2 days, we had the numbers, applied them to all of our upcoming flights, and we were good to go.
Okay, so here's one tip, though, for the number. Add it to your phone.
Absolutely. Because every time you go to the website, you have to kind of sign back in and go through some of the questions. It theoretically takes you longer to get your PreCheck number once you have it than it does to go through the PreCheck line at the airport. So
okay, so
jot it down somewhere.
How many flights does somebody have to take for you to say it's worth what was the fee? $75?
It's $75, but it's good for 5 years. So how much time do you spend at the airport and how much time are you going to stand in line? And again, if you're flying in and out of a busy airport like, Los Angeles or Orlando or one of the New York airports, it might save you literally hours over the course.
I guess the big
years.
point is what if you run into some issue and you're late or delayed, it'll get you past that delay.
Yeah, because we had a kid who went to Orlando a couple weeks ago before she went back to school without TSA PreCheck. The family that she was traveling with did have it. So not realizing that our daughter didn't have it, they did not get to the airport until pretty close to flight time. And our daughter was in a panic over whether or not she was getting through security in time. She fortunately did. She didn't miss her flight, but she got to the gate about 20 minutes before the flight took off.
So to the 19 people who've joined the stream tonight, again, good evening. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, put them in chat. Anna would love to answer them. We're doing a Q&A session. Anna's already talked about that fun topic of how to have anxiety on a cruise. Mm-hmm. That's tips are don't.
I mean, anxiety is a thing. Anxiety is something when you travel you have to deal with. Now, there are things that I do when I travel that tend to make me a little less anxious. If I can do a dry run ahead of time, if we're not going super, super far and I can kind of take the car and make the drive and, find where the airport is, find where the parking is. If I can do that dry run, that really helps. It also really helps to plan for me to know where my stateroom is, how far it's going to be from the elevators, how close I'm going to be to things like the restaurants or the kids clubs or anything that I might want to go to on the ship. That really helps. So, if you have questions about traveling with anxiety, I'm probably the person to talk to because anxiety is my middle name. I live and breathe anxious thoughts all the time.
We did a podcast called Traveling with Dimples, but no one joined me for that one. So I guess it's not as relevant.
I mean, go figure.
All right. So you mentioned you just came off of a cruise. Can we get a trip report?
Yeah, we did. My friend and I did Utopia of the Seas. It was a 4-night cruise. We boarded at Port Canaveral.
Can I sing the song? Girls Cruise. Is that what this was?
It was a girls' cruise. It was kind of an empty nest cruise. This is my friend's first time as an empty nester.
That's a good reason to cruise.
We have been empty nesters now. This is our second year.
I got 2 dogs.
I know,
had
we have dogs.
Kids living in his house. I had other people here. We had a pool party. Where is this house empty? Tell me what day this
It's
house
really
is
hard when all of your kids leave and it's just you staring at him and staring at the dogs. You're an empty nester. So to stave off some of the sadness of being an empty nester, we booked this cruise a couple months back and it was awesome. We did things on this cruise, and I travel with my girlfriends at least a couple times a year. We did things on this cruise that we don't typically do. We did a sushi making class on board ship, which was so much fun. We don't generally go to the lounges or the bars unless we're doing trivia, but there's a new lounge on Utopia called the Pesky Parrot, and it was kitschy and fun. And
that's the short that Anna posted earlier that's got, what, 4,000 views on it?
Yeah, we really, really enjoyed that. The drinks were amazing. It's a beautiful ship, and I will go to my grave saying the best thing Royal Caribbean did was do these neighborhoods, because I love that you can go to the Central Park neighborhood and it's lush and gardeny and just it's just so pretty. Or you can go to the Boardwalk neighborhood and grab a hot dog or play skee ball or ride the carousel. I love the neighborhoods, and Utopia really just has everything that I love about the neighborhoods.
Did you add anything onto this? Did you add on anything at Perfect Day? Did you add anything on?
We did Hideway Beach, which is the adult beach.
That's the new one.
That's the newest one. It opened in January.
Which you and I did, and we spent the whole day in the pool carrying drinks, just walking around the pool.
Yeah. Hideway it's very nice. First of all, it rained a lot on this trip, so we didn't spend a lot of time at Perfect Day at Coco Key. We went back onto the ship, but we really did enjoy the lunch at Hideway. We really enjoyed the number of chairs and stuff. We were not the first people off of the ship because it was raining. So we expected maybe, we would have a little harder time finding chairs.
Hideway is adults only. It is an extra fee, but it is the awesome DJ, the swim up bar, the ceviche.
Yeah, ceviche, coconut shrimp.
And that really awesome pizza stand.
Yeah, the pizza is really good there.
I mean, this is not pizza like, Sorrento's at 3 a.m. is awesome. This is
is really good pizza.
Yeah. So so you had a great time. I mean, we were just there a few months ago, so you had a good time again.
We had a really good time. And I definitely recommend the Utopia sailings. They're doing 3 and 4 night sailings out of Port Canaveral. We actually stayed at a hotel in Port Canaveral in the area, and it was just super easy to get up the next morning, get all of our stuff, lounge around at the hotel for a little while, enjoy a nice breakfast, and then head over to the port, which was literally just a 10-minute drive away. Okay,
so now that's a girls' cruise. So the next time we have a trip report on this ship, you will have gone with kids now, grandkids.
Yeah, we're taking our grandkids on Utopia in just a few weeks.
Is that going to be a very different experience?
I think so. So our grandchildren have only done Disney cruises so far, and they're very used to the excitement of the Disney.
I'm sorry. I have to interrupt. For those of you who aren't expecting this, sit down. This part will be a shocker to you. Her grandchildren have been on Disney cruises. There you go. Back to you. Is that even, what did you...
Anyhow, they love the Kids Club on Disney cruises. So this is our first venture away from a Disney cruise into something different.
I'm waiting for grandkids to get mad. Ask them, where's the princesses, Mama?
They might. And my grandkids actually said they wanted to go on a cruise instead of going to Disney World. So I am super worried about how they're going to be making this transition. But again, with these neighborhoods, they're going to love the carousel. They're going to love the skee ball and stuff. And
did you check to see if there's a Disney ship? Is there a Disney ship in port that same day? Are they going to see it as we cruise in?
Yeah, the Wish does pretty much the same itinerary.
Yeah, but is it in port that same day? When they come over that hill into the port, are they going to see that ship?
We're talking FOMO, big time.
I mean, it's just...
I think, though, they're going to have a good time. I don't even know that they're going to spend that much time in the Kids Club. This is only a 3-night trip. There's a lot of stuff to do on the ship.
Actually, that's the one that will irk me if they don't, because we need them to go to the Kids Club because we want to be able to give you the feedback from kids and be able to compare it to Disney with, because, our children are grown. Our as you say several times, old man, stop comparing old kids clubs.
Yeah.
But
also, though, in terms of activities at the Kids Club, it looked like on the Royal schedule that there were more family activities that could be done at the Kids Club. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe there's some arts and crafts and stuff. Our middle grandchild was not too keen on going to the Kids Club by herself. She really was more content to just toddle around the ship and
Well,
see
wait,
the
you were
different
just on the
things.
ship. Did you do the first day tour?
We tried to do the first day tour. We another great tip on the buffets are ridiculous. They're chaotic. It's hard to find tables. Utopia is not any different. Embarkation day is difficult. We had breakfast in the Windjammer one morning. Really, really hard to find a table. Not something I would recommend. So on embarkation day, my friend had the idea of booking the Mason Jar, which is one of the specialty restaurants, for brunch on embarkation day. So instead of going to the chaos of the Windjammer buffet, we went to the Mason Jar and we had a beautiful, leisurely paced brunch that was amazing. But we also missed the open house at the kids club by going to the brunch. So we were able to go down and walk around a little bit, but there were a lot of children playing, so we couldn't take pictures or video or anything. It's not Disney. I'm going to be honest
I'm
with
sorry,
you.
is that your unbiased opinion?
I mean, it's not Disney. The theming
Hold on,
is
let me
not.
hold up my mug. Is that your unbiased opinion, madam?
The theming is not there. It looks like any other child care center to me. Like, there's stuff to do. There's toys. The older kids look like they had video games and stuff. It's not Disney. Spider-Man's not going to walk out from, whatever.
I mean, we just saw kids clubs on MSC, on the Maravilla, on the ships out of Florida. I mean, those kids clubs have activities and stuff to do. I mean, I guess, how do you compare? When we're done this, how are you going to rank it compared to Disney, non-Disney kid club?
I think the things that we're going to look for have to include how much time the kids want to spend there. Are they more inclined to do stuff with us instead of going to the kids club and doing things? My grandson is on the younger side of the next tier at the kids club.
Actually, that was a question I asked when you got off the ship. It was, where's the age difference, and can the older one, if they're a few months off, stay with the other one or back the other way around?
No, they're pretty strict about the divisions. So there's a 3 to 5 age group and then 6 to 10. So he's definitely going to be on the younger side. He might not want to be in the room with kids that are that age.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting take on that.
All right. Are you ready to wrap it up?
So the other questions that came up in the
No,
groups?
he's not.
No, I'm not. I got stuff. We
He's
got
got
anything.
stuff.
I've missed you all week. You've been gone. You've been doing stuff. Okay, so questions that have come up in the groups all week. People want to know, what's the deal with ducks? It's been asked in every one of the groups for stuff we have going on.
What is the deal with ducks? Okay, so cruising ducks is just a little game that people play on board a ship. It's basically rubber ducks, although people are taking them to next level. They are hand-making ducks. They are 3D printing ducks. They are bedazzling ducks. You basically just take ducks on board the ship and you hide them for other people to find them. You put a little note around their neck, put your stateroom number on, they'll snap a picture, they'll put it in the Cruising Ducks group. However, Disney Cruise Line has already discouraged doing the ducks because for the ducks that aren't found, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to clean them all up.
It's environmental waste.
It's environmental waste. There's also...
With so many kids on Disney with the ducks, it would be just huge. Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of disappointment. Kids that don't find ducks, kids that find 30 ducks, and your kid doesn't have any, they get very upset. And they in turn get upset with Disney, even though Disney has nothing to do with it. But more than that, there are scams running with the cruising ducks where people will join a cruise group and they talk about how great their ducks are and how much effort they're putting into getting them ready. And then at the last minute, something will happen and they can't deliver the ducks.
Could you please
person.
distribute my ducks for free? Instant scam. Stay away from it. Report it. Delete them. Block them.
Yeah,
Everything.
because then what happens is you'll get into a conversation with them away from your Facebook group. And at some point, they're going to ask you for money to help defray the cost of shipping the ducks to you. So don't get involved in that. And honestly, we've done hiding ducks. We've done it with our grandkids. We've done it even just ourselves. And it really is becoming less of a thing. People are, I think it went too far. People I saw just today, somebody made these ducks where it's like a paper flower, and in the center of the paper flower, they've glued the duck, and the ducks have different hats on them. And I mean, they're super cute, but at some point they really are kind of a mess on a cruise ship.
I almost thought her and I were in the same Facebook group, because I today saw ducks that had to do the same gesture, were a little circle, but that circle was a coaster of a giant sized chip from the casino with a duck, with some dice, with a little bottle of wine that you get for gambling a lot on the cruise. And that was left in the casino for people. And I was like, holy cow. Yeah, apparently we're in different Facebook.
Nobody's drinking in my Facebook groups.
All right, so the other one that came up was fish extenders / gift exchanges. What's the easy short answer on that? How they work? What's the deal?
So if you've never done a Disney cruise, that's where a fish extender is. So outside of your stateroom door on any cruise ship, you're going to have a little slot where they can put notes or cards or messages. It's usually something like Park West art auction. They're inviting you to the art auction. They'll put a little card. Or sometimes if you've booked an excursion, they'll put the tickets for your excursion there. A lot of cruise ships post-COVID, they're putting the keys to your stateroom in this little mail thing. The mail things on a Disney cruise ship are sea creatures. They're fish or seahorses or whatever. And there was a woman who started basically a secret Santa. She did it through Disboards, and she called them fish extenders because you go with like a little pouch or like I want to call it like a shoe tree. It looks like a shoe tree where you could have put shoes, but you decorate your little pouches or your shoe tree and you hang them off of this mail thing. And then you get into a group on Facebook where you find other people on your sailing, and they will pair off, and you are supposed to bring gifts to the people in your state, in other staterooms on your cruise.
So in comparison, on one of our cruises, we have somebody who volunteered to run it. By volunteering, they said, are we doing this? And I instantly said, yes, and you're in charge. And we moved it off. We have another group where Anna made me set up a separate web page and a spreadsheet, and people fill out forms because it's way serious business. Pop quiz, one of them's not Disney, and that one is. It's just, there's an expectation of the fish extenders are a much higher level on Disney.
Yeah, we have seen on other cruise lines, people do a gift exchange, probably something that they've seen through Disney.
Some people bring extra suitcases full of stuff.
Yeah, I'm drifting away from fish extenders because there's a lot of controversy with fish extenders. Like, are you giving just one gift for the whole stateroom? Are you giving a gift to everybody in the stateroom? How many extra suitcases do you have to bring? There are some things that you can't do. Like on one cruise, we were still at the last minute trying to tie ribbons and stuff. You can't take scissors on a cruise ship. So I was there like using my teeth to cut curling ribbon to finish our gifts. So it.
I have left scissors and those ribbons and stuff in a hotel, gone down to hotel services and been like, hey, I've got some extra crafts. Do you guys want them before I toss it?
Yeah, it kind of becomes a thing. And then you're always going to have people who, they don't want you to do dollar store gifts. They don't want you to put candy. They don't, you have to be mindful of everybody's allergies or everybody's personal preference. And, some people are peanut allergies or vegans or celiac. So it eliminates the possibility that you can bring any kind of food item. But it drifted away at some point from just an innocent gift exchange to people demanding, that it should be a minimum expenditure. Everybody in the cabin should get a gift, not just one gift per cabin. There's also a lot of redundancy because honestly, tote bags are super easy. So you might be in a fish extender group where you get 5 tote bags. You might be in a fish extender group where you get 3 ice cream kits. You might be in a fish extender group where you get, 5 first aid kits. So it's fun. I'm not going to say that it's not fun, especially if you have little kids, because they're getting a surprise almost every day of the cruise. But what we've started doing is we do our own fish extender. If I have my grandkids with me, I just bring them gifts for every day, and I only do the fish extender with them because it's fun to watch the kids open the stuff. It's not fun to have to lug everything with us.
So I guess the short answer to this is you don't have to participate in the mega group of 30, 40 people. If you're in a small group, if you have a family cruising, whatever, you can do these as your own subgroup.
And they have started limiting. It used to be, you participated in a fish extender group with everybody else that participated. But over the years, it's become, we're limiting it to 5 cabins, or, some cruise groups will limit it to 10 cabins. So you're not giving as
We have
many.
11 minutes left before we have to end this.
I'm out of stuff to talk about, so
I got
talk
questions.
amongst yourselves.
People are in these groups asking
I
questions.
know. What are your questions?
We got 21 people now who have been on the chat. Please feel free to throw your questions in chat. Anna would love to answer
Margaret,
them.
you got anything else for us? Because we're happy to help you.
Yeah. Hey, Margaret. So cruise deals coming up. We still have...
Margaret will be going on Liberty of the Seas with us in March, because we are doing a group cruise St. Patrick's Day weekend. Now, St. Patrick's Day is on a Monday. We know you're not going bar hopping on a Monday night because you have to go to work. But if you join us...
will be on the cruise ship on Monday when it comes back into port. So it counts as a St. Patrick, just like it's a balcony stateroom.
But if you join us on Liberty of the Seas over St. Patrick's Day weekend, we're going to do a pub crawl and a slot pull, and we'll have some St. Patrick's Day giveaways and goodies for you, and it'll be a ton of fun. If you're interested in joining us on the St. Patrick's Day cruise, reach out to Anna at wavesandwandering.com.
We have a couple of deals we still have a couple of staterooms for between now and around Thanksgiving that are as low as $50 a day, $60 a day with drinks. It's amazing what's out there.
Yeah, MSC Maravilla. If you're a Jersey cruiser, first of all, if you're a Jersey cruiser, welcome. But it's so easy to do the Maravilla out of Brooklyn from Jersey, even South Jersey. You're up there and on the cruise ship in 90 minutes. There's no flying. There's no, worrying about getting to the port on time. It's super easy to do the Maravilla.
Okay, so if you're not aware, December 25th this year is Christmas and the 31st is New Year's Eve.
Surprise!
If you just realized that, you can call Anna. There are some last minute deals for that are going on.
Yeah.
Cruise. Now, especially if you don't really care which cruise line or where you sail out of, there's some really great deals going on.
Yeah. And I promise you, your wife is probably a size 7 night Bahamas cruise. I know I am. So.
All right. Anything else going on? Do you want to talk about your big November trip?
We are doing a Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady transatlantic. We will be heading over to Rome Thanksgiving Day. We depart from Civitavecchia, which is the cruise port near Rome.
We'll actually be there before then. We, of course, are going to the fountain. Yeah. We have to go there before they start restricting it. And we're going to Pompeii.
Yeah, but we will be doing the transatlantic cruise. So if you have any questions about sailing on Virgin Voyages, the Scarlet Lady, transatlantic cruising, we're happy to talk about that.
If you have thought to yourself, how could I possibly survive on a cruise ship for 15, 18, 20, 30 days? We can talk to you about it.
We're going to show you how to do it.
All right. Anything else? Can you wrap this up early?
I can wrap this up early. If you have enjoyed being here with us, we so appreciate you. But don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified not only the next time we do a live stream, but also when we post new videos or anything like that. If you subscribe...
Oh, wait. Disney Candlelight. Any news?
No news yet. Maybe next time. We're still waiting for the Disney Epcot International Festival of the Holidays, the candlelight packages, the dining packages to be released. I'm sure they're coming in the next couple of weeks. I would venture to guess by mid-October, but we don't have any news.
Are you going to be going? Do you know who your host is?
No idea.
But you're still going?
Yes.
Oh my God, that sounds like a guaranteed...
And there we are, people, full circle. I might end up getting somebody that he doesn't like as a narrator at Candlelight. That's where that was headed.
That lady has never come back since that time.
Don't forget to boop the bell because you'll be notified right away. If you're booking any kind of travel and you need help, just reach out to me, Anna at wavesandwandering.com, or just leave your email in the comments and I'm happy to reach out to you and help you make your vacation dreams come true. We'll see you real soon.
All right, let's go to